drive, on my drive home. So on my drive to Pilates, I was telling you about a book I just read, and it got cut off. So you know what? It wasn't meant to be. It is what it is. But what I was supposed to talk to you about this morning was my update about Phuket. How am I getting to Phuket? Well, I need to earn some extra money, save, not buy soft drinks. I haven't bought any soft drinks, guys. Swear everywhere, have not bought soft drink. And I will admit, there was a couple of moments where I'm like, you know what? Live a little, Dora, live a little. You know, because when you're saving, right? I don't know if you know the power of, like, you know, what do you call it? Manifestation. There's a word. It's the word I'm looking for. Manifestation, yeah. So like when you manifest stuff, right? If you block something, like I'm blocking money because I'm not spending it, then you're actually blocking it, right? So you're not actually going to get money back. So I'm very aware that you've got to be really careful, like, you know, when you're trying to save for something, like, you know, this extra trip that I'm planning next year to Phuket that I really don't need, but, you know, here I am wanting to go. Fear of missing out, right? Fear of missing out. So I'm working through that, right? But to get to that trip, I was like, okay, well, let's not buy any extras. Like, you know, make your lunch anyway. You do not need to buy extra things. Like, you know, sometimes you have your lunch and you're like, it's still a bit peckish. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll just get that little thing, you know, or, oh, I'm dry. I went to the service station. Oh, I feel like something, you know, sweet. So I'll get that can of Pepsi. And, you know, oh, that Pepsi's on sale too. You get two of them for like the same price. Oh, I might as well get two, right? And then you drink the two of them. And that's how, you know, bit by bit you add on more sugar in your day, and then you get more weight, right? So I'm being mindful of that because, you know, I am trying to lose the weight off my knees, basically, so that my knees are more happier, right? We all want happy knees, right? So by not having snacks and those kind of things, you know, I'm trying to, do that, but also try not to spend money. But when you block money, right? And I'm not, you know, this is the law of attraction, right? When you block something like money, then you're actually not attracting it back. So you got to be very careful like that. So I'm aware of those things, right? So in the last couple of days, I've let myself spend some money. Now, in good ways, right? Like on Sunday, I worked, right? Because, you know, I'm trying to do extra shifts to earn extra money, right? Being the good little Dora I am, trying to save extra money, earn extra money to get to Phuket. So on that day, on Sunday, I normally Sunday afternoon makes my salads for the week ahead. So I hadn't prepared my lunch. And I thought, you know what? It's okay, Dora. It's okay to spend some money. It is okay. Let it happen, right? Because when you block it, it's not going to come to you. So I was like, right, just do it. But it was mentally, I was like, God, what do I want for lunch? I was like, you know what? Dirty kebab. I've been looking and smelling kebabs when I've been eating my lunches at the shopping centres with my clients. I've been looking at people eating kebabs and I'm like, oh, I just want to rip that kebab out of their mouth and eat it. But anyway, so I was like, get yourself a kebab. You know what? The kebab didn't even taste that good. I was very disappointed, guys. I was like, I wish I actually had brought my lunch then. But anyway, that's all right, okay? I didn't buy a drink. I had water with me, right? So another thing happened. Yesterday I was at a thrift shop that I was volunteering at, part of my work, and we had a massive downpour of rain, like hail and everything. It was crazy. So I was watching that outside, and old mate walks past, this not old guy, just a guy, and he was wet, and he says to me, hey love, could I get a shirt? We're an op shop, right? So we sell lots of shirts. And I prejudged. He was carrying some bags and he was sopping wet. And I said, do you mean for free? Because then I realised, I looked at him, I thought, okay, he looks homeless. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I was a little bit confused because he could have walked into the op shop, right? We have an op shop. That's what the idea is. You walk in there and you buy things, right? But by the way he looked at me and connected with me in eye contact, he goes, can I have a shirt? And I knew what the answer would be, right? If I asked the staff that work there, right, the paid staff, they would say, he can buy them. We're an op shop. We're a charity, right? Lifeline run the 24-hour hotlines, which is the helpline that you can call anytime in Australia, a 1-800 number to, if you're in desperate need of someone to talk to. One of our friends in the community has actually rang that number and got some help. So they do amazing things, right? But they say that, you have to buy the stuff, right? It's donated, but you got to buy it, right? So they have a hard line on that, right? And my heart, and I guess if I managed a place, I'd probably run losses because I'd be probably giving stuff away all the time and I'd probably get in trouble, right? But I looked at him and I went, what do you need, mate? And he goes, I'm wet. He goes, I'm homeless. He goes, I don't have another shirt. He goes, I just need another shirt. I said, well, what kind of shirt do you want? He goes, just a little button-up one. I said, what size are you? And he goes, he just kind of looked at me. He goes, oh, I don't know. I said, okay, maybe an extra large. He goes, yeah. He goes, come with me. And my friends that were working there, they kind of looked at me really strange. I said, don't worry, I'll buy it. It's all good. I'll buy it. It's all good. So I went through, tried to find I poured a couple of shirts out and said, which is this one? He goes, I don't care. I just want a shirt that's not wet. I went, okay, that's right. I said, but I said, I'm happy to pay for it for you. But I said, you tell me what you want. Do you want a jacket thing or do you want a t-shirt or a flannel? And we found like a flannelette, like a little bit warmer kind of thing. I mean, it's spring here, but I guess at night time it could be a bit cold. And he was wet, so he really desperately wanted to get warm, I guess. So I said, hey, that's fine. Did you want this? And he goes, I said, well, this fit you. He goes, do you want to try it on? He goes, no, it'll fit me. He goes, thank you very much. I said, okay, well, and then I went and talked to the manager at the time, said, can I buy this? He goes, is it for that guy? And he goes, I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, $2. So it was a $5 shirt. We always get discounts anyway. He goes, but he said, yeah, just pay $2. I went, fair enough. So I paid $2 for it. And I remember the staff member, the volunteer, he looked at me like really dirtily, like, I said, don't worry, it's all right. It's all right. I'm going to pay for it. Because he knows it's a hard line. Like, just don't pay for it. He goes, they can just pay. Like, he was saying to me, the worker goes, tell them to go up the road. Because that's where you can get free stuff, apparently. But I know some places don't give you. And like this time, it was like nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon. These places are closed, right? So I was like, that's right. Just take $2 off my card. And he goes, can I have a bag? And I said, yeah, sure. And he goes, oh, can I just specifically get a plastic bag so it doesn't get wet? Because I'm still going to be walking to somewhere to get changed. I went, yeah, fine, no, fair enough. And I put it in a bag. And I just looked him in the eyes. I said, here you go. Look after yourself. And I was just, in that moment, I just felt so, like I really wanted to help the guy. And I know that simple thing was a helpful thing to do. And it was only $2. Who gives a fuck, right? It's only $2, right? It could have been $5 or $10. I would have paid for it. I don't care. But I guess my point, right, there's 2 points here. Give, right? This season of holidays, it's a holiday season, is so filled of fucking materialistic, like, let's buy presents, like just the presents of buying presents. Like, I'm not giving anyone a present, I'm going to be honest. Don't give anyone a present. I don't even buy a present for my niece because it's the act of, like, what is the act of buying a present for these days? It's lost. The idea of Christmas is to spend time, or the holidays is to spend time with people you love. Share a meal, be around them, give time. So anyway, that's my feeling about Christmas. But with that guy, I was just like, I just felt really sorry for him. All the things he owns, he's carrying in a couple of bags. And they weren't backpacks, they were just shopping bags he was carrying his stuff in. And I think about my life and my materialistic stuff that I carry, like the shit I have in my car is more stuff than I could even carry, right? Like I have all the adventure stuff, hiking sticks and, sunscreens and mozzie sprays and rain jackets and hats and swimmers, but I've got 2 of each. It's ridiculous, right? We live in a really materialistic world and I'm part of the problem. And here I am trying to save, right, to go to Phuket, which I really don't need, right? I really don't need to go to Phuket. I mean, I really want to see that DJ. There's a couple of DJs I'd really like to see. But do I need to go? Probably not. But I just thought of that guy and I thought, this poor guy, I don't know his circumstances. But, people look at homeless people and just look and think, just go somewhere else and get some help. They don't fix the problem. And I mean, I can't fix the problem, but yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I guess my point, what I'm trying to say is I spent the money, $2. It doesn't matter. It could have been $10, so I would have spent it, right? But it felt good to let something come out of my way, like my pocket. It comes into me with, working, right? And it comes out of you too, right? By spending. And I think You just have to be mindful of what you spend. Like, I might be trying to save money to go to Phuket, but it's okay to have that lunch. It would be okay to even go buy a can of Pepsi if you really wanted to, Dora. That's the point, right? You can, right? You're not breaking any rules. But I just thought it was a really interesting point that, when you're trying to save money, just remember to spend it also in good ways. Like, it's not a loss by, shouting someone a drink or, buying someone, just, yeah. And it could even be like just buying a friend a coffee, like going out for a coffee with someone, even though you're trying to save money, but let it come in and let it go out, because otherwise you're stopping the flow, right? So yeah, I don't know, I just thought that was really beautiful. But I'll tell you another story. Following on from the last time I did this kind of a quick update on a Pilates day, which is on a Tuesday morning, was I had a brain, a light bulb moment. I went to get my phone fixed. They couldn't fix it. But I talked to him about jobs, because I used to work that's what I do for a living, is help people find jobs. So I'm always having a chat about jobs, right? Because who knows who I'll be able to help. I've helped many people by having conversations about jobs. So I was like, I could get a second job. I don't work on Fridays. No rest for the wicked. I could work on the weekends. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing extra shifts with my clients, but that's not healthy, because my clients are, they have disabilities and they have different abilities, but, there's things that irk you, right? Like, I'm not even going to go into it, but, hanging around people with different energy than yourself, it sticks, right? I'm going to be honest, it sticks. And I sometimes just need a break, right? So that's why I'm going on a week's holiday, actually. I'm going to Sydney for a week, and I can't wait to just get away from work and my clients. I'm going to be honest, to get away from my clients and, yeah, just have a bit of a break, right? That's what holidays are for, right? So here I am, talking about trying to save for a holiday, and here I am having another holiday. But these are, sometimes you need to do these things, right? Like, I'm going to go see my sister in Sydney. Yes, I'm going to go see a rave also, so I'm getting my music vibe that I need, I'm craving, because that's what I want to go to Phuket for, is to see DJs. And then I'm going to spend some quality time with my sisters and some friends that I'm going to catch up with, which is really important, right? I'll be mindful of spending money, but again, at the same time, you let it go, right? Money comes in, money comes out. Money comes in, money comes out. But you just got to remember that, be mindful of what you're spending your money on. Like, it's like Eckhart Tolle talks about in The Power of Now, is to slow down and think about things more. Like, and I think, when everything's not in cash anymore, like, I try to use more cash these days, guys, because otherwise if we don't use it, we're going to lose it. And I know it's easy to put it on card, and I put a lot of my stuff on card because I get it to track it for my work, because I'm self-employed. But I try to make an act of using cash, because when you use cash, you're mindfully thinking, oh, I've got a $50 note. I'm buying a can of Coke. Do I really need that can of Coke? Do I need to? No, maybe I don't. But if you just put on card, tap, 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 oh yeah, I'll buy the Coke, and I'll buy another Coke, and I'll buy some chips or whatever, because it doesn't feel like it's anything, right? That's how they get us with using cards. So I'm going to be honest, anyway, let's not go there. But it's very easy to spend money when you're using a card. So use cash if you're trying to save money, because that way you're mindful of what you're doing. So I'm going to be mindful on my trip on spending money. Like, for example, I'm going to be honest, I haven't had an alcoholic beer for months, right? I've been having 0 beers, right? Like, as in 0% beer. I don't even drink beer normally, but anyway, here we are. But last time I was in Sydney, back in June, I went to my sister's 60th birthday. And I did a couple of lives, guys. And this is the start of me doing lives, so I didn't really get many people tapping in. But I don't care. I do lives for the fun of it, right? I don't care who taps in. But I actually did a really fun live where I was actually painting a picture of the Harbour Bridge. And I was sitting in front of the Opera House. I was having a beer in the sun. I had my big backpack with me. I was on my way to my sister's house, and I pulled out my paints and I painted the Harbour Bridge. And it was such a beautiful moment. That beer probably cost me $12 Australian, $6 or something US, right? I will do that again. over the week, in the next couple of days, right? I cannot wait to do that. You know, sometimes, you know, you got to, I mean, I know I'm trying to save money, right, to get to Phuket, but, you know, you still got to enjoy your life, right? So anyway, another update, guys. There are many updates here, and I've got to go because it's 7 past 8, and I've got to get ready to go to work. Another update is the telephone job. You know, I'm a very good employment consultant. I chase, I talk, I connect, all these things, right? This is what you do to get jobs. I followed it through. I didn't hear from, I sent my resume and sent an email. I sent in the email saying, you know, could you just please reply back so you got my email so I know that it's gone. I hadn't heard something, so I went down there the other day and asked the dude. I said, you know, what's going, you know, have you heard anything? He goes, no, I haven't heard anything. He goes, you haven't heard anything? I said, no. He goes, okay, well, I will make it my point that I'll ring HR tomorrow and find out what's going on. I got an email the next day from the guy that I was talking to. He goes, this is the reply I got from head office. So head office looked at my resume, even though I put a cover letter saying that, you know, this is a professional resume, but like, you know, I have worked in retail before. You know, my first jobs were all retail. I just don't put them on my resume because it's so old, right? But I put it in my cover letter, right? And anyway, long story short, they said that at the moment they're not hiring. They've got full staff. So I just took that. I was like, okay, whatever. So that didn't work out, guys. I have talked to other people about getting some work over Christmas, because when I come back from holidays, my client that I work with a lot was going to have an operation, so he might not be able to work that much. So yeah, so I have more days available, right? So yeah, I'm gonna pursue that when I come back, about getting another particular, just a casual job, just to fill up the days, especially Christmas time. I'm actually not, Christmas time my clients don't want to work with me. I normally have like 2 weeks off, especially when I want to go for a week in January. I probably can't afford to have those 2 days off, those 2 weeks off. So I need to fill those days. So it's not enough just to save money. I need to actually earn some more money. So I'm putting it out to the universe that, oh yeah, something will come about, right? I'm talking to my friends and I'm saying, hey, I'm looking for another opportunity just on weekends or nights or something like that. Who knows what will come, right? Anyway, just thought I'd let you know that update, and just talking about money, like, you know, let it in, let it out. I'm not like saying chuck it out, but yeah, it's okay to spend it, right? But think about what you're spending it on. Anyway, see you guys. Bye.